So like that's and within the university system, no, I must place the unions in proper pathway for
Hello and welcome to the program. And today we start off in Anambra State. On the 18th of November this year, the people of that state, that's in southeast Nigeria, will be heading to the polls for another round of governorship election. Incumbent Governor Obiano would sure be on the ballot as he would be seeking a second term in office under the platform of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. Now, with the PDP divided and rocked by internal crisis, the main opposition to APGA in the coming election would sure be the All Progressives Congress, APC. Quite a number of bigwigs in the PDP and former governorship candidates of the party have defected to APC and are in the running for the party's governorship ticket. At the last count, 12 aspirants are jostling for the APC governorship ticket, so Governor Obiano may have quite a contest on his hands. Now, governorship elections in Anambra State has always been controversial, with the matter always ending up in court. So will this coming one be any different? Earlier, I had a chat with the stalwart of the APC in Anambra State, Arinze Bueli, and began by asking him what kind of election he foresees in November this year.
We must understand that the democracy, as it goes, you have a tendency to improve. We've not had free and fair elections in Anambra since 2007. 2010 was a sham, 2013 the same thing. But we're thankful that with the change that came in 2015, we are hopeful that Anambra will have an election that will be driven by change, that will be driven by the demand for change, that will be driven by the demand to retire the retrogressives in Anambra.
So, some people say one of the problems of Anambra is that everybody wants to be governor of that state. I mean, the last election, for instance, we saw the number of candidates who aspirants who actually came out on the platform of the PDP, for instance. At some point, the PDP, of course, splitting into factions, and you had basically two candidates for every position. And now we're beginning to see a similar trend, even though there are fears that we could see a similar trend now in the APC, your party. Quite a number of these former PDP members are now in your party. They've decamped. The people who some people have said used to cause trouble in the PDP, then they are now in your party. APC. And then you look at the number of aspirants to date, and that number may change. We have about 12 aspirants. Yes.
Well, if you look at it vividly, my take is this. It wasn't the aspirants that caused trouble. It was a lack of following the rule book. PDP never followed the rule book in any of their primaries. You have where parties will split into 5 factions because they didn't want to follow the rule book. That is different in the APC. The APC as a party is guided by our working constitution. The APC as a party is guided by the change agenda. The APC as a party is guided by are wanting to follow the rules of democracy. So if you look at it, yes, they are all welcome. It's democracy. Perhaps they've seen the light. These aspirants have seen the light. You understand what I'm saying? And some of them are not that bad. Obiano is not a bad person. Andy Oba is not a bad person per se. Let's just focus on the fact that these things were caused by the fact that they didn't want to play the rules. Now, when they come into the APC, they will see that, look, there are rules, there are guidelines, and they must adhere to them. And when they adhere to them, you will now have a beautiful process of democracy, which we intend to give to Nigerians as the time comes by.
Anyway, you look at, what would you say would be the major challenge of your party? I mean, wresting power from the All Progressives Grand Alliance, because it appears that party has cemented its position in that state, has produced the governor of that state now for three times now. Peter Obi did 2 terms there. You have Obiano, he's doing his first term. Who knows? He just might win the second term. You never can tell. And the general perception, especially in Anambra, that the APC is not a party for the Igbos. You think you'd be able to overcome
well,
that
let me correct that impression. You said APGA has cemented itself. It's not true. APGA has never won an election in Anambra State. In 2003, in 2010, in 2013, APGA did not win any election. They found themselves They were just lucky to be in power.
Abga won the election in 2000. I mean, when Obi came during his
Well,
first term.
there are certain things I won't say here, but we all know that Abga didn't win in 2003, 2010, and 2013. But let's leave that aside. You said they cemented themselves. As I'm talking to you now, APC is the biggest thing to happen in Anambra State. The last registration exercise we did, which I am very sure you followed, we are having 1 million plus members now. So anybody telling you that APC is not accepted in Igbo land is deceiving himself. Because people have come to see that this, they say Abga is an Igbo party, Abga is an Igbo party. But my brother, when you come into Anambra, you will see that the difference is clear. Abga is no Igbo party. Abga is just a party formed by a few gangsters for the personalization of the state's resources to their own ends. And so anybody telling you that APC does not, okay, or you tell me that Chris Ngige is a Hausa man, Obi Noza is a Hausa man, Andy Oba is a Hausa man, or Tony Nwoye, or Ralph Okeke, or Engineer Bart Mwibe. You have people who have seen the light and who want to come into this party, who want to contribute. Besides that, there were many of us who stayed back when people were calling us Boko Haram, Muslim party and all that. And we told them that, look, party is a vehicle for the actualization of interests. Now, ask me how Abga has bettered the interests of the Igbos in Anambra State. Nil, zero.
You can say that, of course.
No, I can't.
Because we're talking about the government of Obiano,
yes,
that prides itself as one of the best performing governors in the country. As a
in
matter
what
of fact,
in what sense?
That government actually prides itself to, as having done better than the previous Abga government.
But that's not true. If he had done better, I mean, no father wants his son not to do better than him. And Peter Obi handing over to him. Yes, of course, we may have had disagreements with Peter, but at least we give it to him. When we see the shambolic nature of this administration, we give it to Peter. Yes, we never saw anything good in Peter Obi. But at least when you compare the good and the bad, my brother, you give the good some pass mark. So when you look at it, you will find out that that Obiano has failed. He has woefully failed. In what aspect? Is it infrastructure? Is it infrastructure? How? What? Tell me. Go look at the 3 bridges he built. The 3 bridges he built along Aroma, Kwatan, etc. He has already put bars for heavy vehicles. At the same time, these bridges are collapsing. These bridges were not built to infrastructural standards. What were the costs of these bridges? These bridges were first built for, say, 5 billion. And before you knew it, it ballooned to 18 billion. And yet, these bridges are not serving purposes. These bridges are causing gridlocks everywhere. These bridges are collapsing. Will you call that performance? One of the littered infrastructure projects left by Governor Peter Obi, he has not completed one.
Well, at least that's one governor that is not owing workers' salary.
For crying out loud. Ngige did not owe workers' salary, so it's not a new thing. Chris Ngige always paid workers on time. You can find out. So he's just making empty noise. Ngige did not owe workers. Yes.
What exactly would your party be telling the electorate? I mean, at the election.
We want to bring. We want to bring change.
To dump Abga.
No. First, you must join. We want to tell them that look, you can't play politics in isolation. You can't play politics in opposition. Abga is just a party within Anambra. It's a party on life support now. You follow the judgment the other day that has given the former Martins Agbaso, former governor candidate in Imo State, chairmanship of the PDP. The party is going down. That is one. And we cannot be talking of wanting to bring Igbos into the mainstream. And then you are now saying that Anambra will stay in the opposition. I mean, it doesn't work that way. Secondly, there are a lot of places where Obiano has failed. I've given you one infrastructure. Well,
infrastructure. Well, the government would not say that. For instance,
we
know that.
Of course, you don't expect the governor
that is lighting up the state. It's one of the projects they are pushing out.
They light up streets. Yes. The next they go back there, the streets lighted up. Yeah, I mean, I need you to go and do some investigation.
No, of course, they are lighting.
They light up streets today. They do launching, make noise, jump up and down, call people, and they go back there the next day. If those streets lights are working, yeah, that's working. No, I can wager a bet. You just come to Anambra and you see these things for yourself.
And security-wise, you don't think the
security-wise, okay, fine. Security-wise, under Chris Ngige, Anambra was also secured. Anambra was one of the most secure states.
But we also cannot deny that there's security in
Let
that
us
state
ask
now.
ourselves, at what costs? This is a governor who takes a whooping 1 billion naira as security votes.
You're not so sure of that.
And we're very sure. It has been raised in the House of Assembly by a minority leader, and he was just called and was cautioned. I mean, if the governor knew that what we were saying was wrong, the governor would have sued a lot of us.
Security will definitely come at a cost. So, but the
yes,
most important thing is
at what cost. Now, if I spend
if
I spend 1 point something billion on security, what happens to education? What happens to healthcare? What happens to infrastructure? Are you getting my point? As I'm talking to you now, all the development partners in Anambra
because we know the rate of kidnapping in Anambra State before now. Let's face it.
Under Ngige, there was also 0% kidnapping, and Ngige did not spend billions of naira on security. Yes.
Kidnapping was actually not the trend back in the days
but as of 2003, it was. It was as of 2003.
It was really not so trendy.
It was as of 2003.
Even though Ngige was, so to speak, kidnapped.
He was kidnapped, but not that kind of kidnap. That one was political coup. You can't call that one kidnap. Anybody telling you that one was kidnapped is being trying to be clever by half. It's trying to be clever by half. Yes.
So you think your party will do things differently from what this?
Definitely, this will be a government that a party that will bring a government that will run with prudence. I mean, this is a government that spent off 75 billion naira, left for it by the previous administration.
No, but wait, hold on there. I mean,
yes.
let's tell ourselves the truth. We know, and it has since emerged. It is true.
Yes.
The former governor of the state, Peter Obi, actually
yes.
said he left 25 billion, but
75
billion, yes. But
plus other savings.
We've since found out that that 75 billion was not left in cash. As a matter of fact, the 75 billion was, you know, not cash, not cash backed, not cash. It was not as if the money was somewhere waiting. Yes. You know, investments. Made all over, and some of these investments, their maturity dates won't even, majority of them, their maturity dates will be from 2023.
I think you're wrong.
No, but that's...
I think you're wrong, because Alex Oti the other day came and said that these funds were left behind. Valentine Obiano has given us facts. Valentine who was... And let me tell you, 75 billion is not a susu collection. It is not money that you collect in the market. No, let me land.
I'm just saying what the government has said. That the government has said.
Let me land, please.
Okay, go on.
It is not a susu. So when Peter Obi came and said, I am leaving 75 billion, Obiano, as a former banker, did not need a year plus to come and tell Indian Anambra that there was no money left. So you see that government is being clever by half. The government is being mischievous because Peter Obi actually left this amount of money. Alex Oti the other day came and said it. You
can't be so sure that Peter Obi left this amount of money in cash. You can't be so sure.
Mr. DEJI, I do not want you to hold forth for this government.
Why would it be difficult for you to believe the government, to say that, you know, this 75 billion naira we're talking about was not in cash?
Mr. DEJI, if I left 75 billion, or if you left 75 billion for me as governor, and I come in, the first thing to do is to run through the records. It will take me a month or two to say, nah, this money is not here. They did not keep this money. And I'll tell them, well, they didn't keep it. But Obiano, up till October 2015, kept quiet. It was when the face-off between him and Peter became obvious that he came out and told the whole world that this man didn't leave money for him, which is not true.
Which might be understandable. It might not be the right thing to do, but it's understandable politically.
Please, it's not understandable. If you did not leave 75 billion for me, I will come and tell the whole world this man did not leave 75 billion for me. I do not need to wait for 1 year plus. I do not need to wait for 1 year. So it shows that money was frittered away. Look, my governor is a super hedonist. Sorry to say. If you need to come to government house and see the kind of things that go on there. This is a man that took taxied 194 people to his daughter's graduation.
Well, the government has also been explaining that is actually not true.
We have facts.
Hold on, no, because the majority. The government has also come out to say, look, all those who went for the daughter's graduation, yes, virtually all of them paid to go there,
including Flavor. Flavor to pay to go there.
Well, that's what the government says. The government says,
Flavor paid to go there. Mr. DEJI, no, let's you don't expect the government to say that, please.
No, but I mean, do you have it for fact?
What of last year Anambra clocked 25 years, and after the celebration, this man said celebration will go on for 6 months. I mean, come come to Anambra and look at the waste in Jamboree. Look at the waste, the people's, I mean, the Commonwealth of Anambra. Just come and look at how it's being wasted on frivolities. That is most painstaking. That is most annoying. And that's what we intend to change in Anambra.
What do you think will be the first thing that the APC and APC government will change in the state?
Oh, a lot. We'll bring direction into government, into governance. You'll find out that this man has lost direction. He came in and met a lot of projects. He abandoned all of them and started giving 20 million to communities for their own projects. While you come to Anambra, about 100 projects were littered. These were projects almost, even the place near my house, I stay in commissioner's quarters, the road near my house, which was almost completed, has been abandoned and is deteriorating now. And then you wake up all of a sudden and then you now say you want to do 111 projects in 1 year. I mean, because elections are coming. You look at schools, there was a policy and we saw Anambra taking first position. That has dropped. Healthcare, nothing is going on there. Agriculture, the so-called Anambra rice, come to Anambra, and you will not see one Anambra, you will not see one, not even one grain. I looked for the rice, I did not see. You saw Lake, you saw the Lake one. That one, I came to Lagos and I bought it.
I have seen Anambra rice.
No, well, I have not seen it. They must have given it to you as a souvenir. They must have packaged maybe 10 bags and given it to you as a souvenir. It's not in the market anywhere. There's nothing like Anambra rice. It's fiction.
Well, the government has said it's not as if it has a farm where rice is produced or the pumpkin leaf ugu is produced. But that what it does is that it supports farmers, you know, with soft loans.
It's all fiction.
And you know, soft loans, and of course provide them with the necessary information.
It's all fiction because government to tell me that you exported how many millions of dollars of ugu. I mean, what's the size of the trough that you export that amount? And you saw the hasty manner they went and tried to, where they even embarrassed themselves. But you saw women cutting ugu with their teeth trying to export it. You know? So these things are fiction, and I don't expect you to believe it. They're all fiction. It's a government of fiction.
But tell me, if what do you think needs to be fixed in Anambra State, and so urgently?
We need to fix institutions. APC will do that. You have a governor who sees himself as a lord of the manor. You have a governor who has put sword to the kingship that binds in the Anambra. You have a governor who has so brought in the
But we also cannot deny the fact that this governor you're talking about is still liked by a lot of people.
Liked by who? He's Aguleri people. Only the Aguleri people like him, and those who, and the few nepotists around him. I mean, look, come and do it. Let's do an opinion poll, and you will see Obiano won't even get up to 20% of the votes.
You don't think that you know, that issue of where the governor comes from will matter this time, especially when you consider the fact that the people of Anambra North, where the current governor comes from, you know, had always complained that they had been marginalized, and now they've got the opportunity, and they would want to have a second term.
You know, Anambra is a very dynamic state. Let me tell you something. In 2003, we had Chinwoke Mbadinuju, who, according to a lot of people, failed. And,
I think he failed.
Okay, no, fine. Let's just
I was in Anambra State.
Okay,
then.
good.
I really think he failed.
You think he failed? Fine, good. And you cannot, and you see the way this man has also failed. No. You think it's joke about this man too has failed. And what did Indian Anambra do? They went and shopped. They threw away zoning. They threw away the calls for zoning. Oh, since some people were there saying, since this man is from Anambra South, bring another person from Anambra South to take it.
But zoning is still very important in the equation.
Zoning is important, but zoning will only be important when we get where the person is coming from. For example, I know that nobody from Anambra Central will be encouraged to run. I'm from Anambra Central. The Anambra Central consists of 7.
Your former senator might run. We don't know.
Fine. He might run, but he has told us that he's not running. He has said that he's not running. But Anambra Central, for the now, so it's between Anambra South and Anambra North. And if the APC gets a good candidate from Anambra South, you have the likes of Andy Uba, Obiano, Engineer Batwibe from Anambra South. Oh, well and good. If Tony Nwoye or Chike Obidigbo or Paul Chukwuma gets it from Anambra North, oh, well and good. But what will APC will put in place is fairness in the process. They have told, Jim Obodo told all the aspirants, go and meet the delegates. Don't come and meet me. Go and see the delegates. Go and talk to them. Go and make your promises to them. Go and sign your bonds with them. Go and create that kinship with them. Go and get the votes from them. And then whoever emerges, this party will support.
Before I let you go, let me just ask you one final question. What,
Yes,
what do you think could possibly go wrong for your party as we approach this election?
Well, then it's
what are your fears?
If I say things will not go wrong, I will be what's the word to use? What's the word to use? Highly optimistic, and that is not good for politics. But so far, so good. I do not envisage
you don't have any fears?
I do not envisage anything going wrong. The only thing I think will go wrong is if there is an attempt to impose a candidate on the party. But I do not think APC is considering that. We don't do that. I do not think that will arise. That will not arise. Yes.
You never can tell.
I do not think it will arise.
You never can tell.
It's
politics.
Well, that is the only fear I have, but I do not think it will arise.
And if that happens, it will have devastating consequence.
Well, it depends on how it happens. If a number of people go with it and they feel, and we look at it, because you can't look at such now with foresight, you must look at it with hindsight and say, okay, I can't look at this now. I have to look at it from the angle like, okay, at that point in time, is it necessary? If it's necessary and we find out that, okay, oh well and good, but I do not think it will arise.